Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Gabe.
It's Caleb.
And you guys are watching the 24th episode of the Positive Outlook podcast. And Caleb, what are we talking about today?
Today we're talking about how to change your perspective on stress.
Yeah, so just talking about how to make stress your best friend, because everybody has it. There's nobody that goes out in their day and does their routine without any bit of stress. So we're going to talk to you guys about how to turn it into more of a positive thing and how you can make it your friend.
But before we get too deep into it, don't forget, hit that like and subscribe.
Yes, thank you very much. We appreciate every one of you. We are almost to our goal of 400, and we're hoping to hit that by the end of the month. So help us get there. Why not? So now going into the episode, I want to start with a quote. So a little bit of a warning here. We usually never cuss on the podcast, but I feel like it's kind of pertinent for this quote. But the quote says, pressure can turn shit into diamonds, but it can also turn diamonds into dust. And I really love that quote because it's true. Either way you look at it, where it's turning the crap into a diamond or it's turning the diamond into dust, is all perspective on how you're using the stress that happens in your life. Such as, Caleb and I, we were in a stressful position in our lives and we wanted something that we could put time into and that could progress over time and turn into something that we will soon, have a living from, and that is the podcast.
So would you say that you put pressure?
Yeah, absolutely. I feel every single day, even if it comes down to something as something as small as seeing how many likes we get on our Instagram posts, how many followers we have on Facebook, how many subscribers we have on YouTube, each thing is a stress in my life, but it is good stress because it pushes us to do better and perform better on a podcast.
Absolutely. Stress is huge.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all over the place. Some days it's not quite as bad as other days. But it's good. I love stress.
Yeah.
It's hard to say it sometimes, but I love stress.
Yeah. And there's definitely, a couple different situations. I guess we'll kind of just come up with one on the spot, but it's such as, you are underperforming at work and you're kind of stressed out by it. And there are certain situations when you just get overwhelmed with stress and you kind of crumble under it and you don't do your best job. But then there's also the situation where if you have that different perspective on stress, where you'll feel stressed out and you don't like that feeling, so you overperform and you become better than everybody else simply because this stress pushed you to be there. And so it's just about having that different perspective and using it in a different manner.
And I think it kind of, the thing about guilt where it's like it's a good thing that you feel bad?
Yeah.
I kind of relate that to stress. It's a good thing if you have that stress because that means you have that drive to overperform. You have that want for, maybe it's perfection, maybe it's just plain success, but either way you have that drive, and stress is a big motivator.
Yeah. Do you ever use stress as a guidance tool?
I do, actually, yeah.
Can you go into depth a little bit on that?
So let's see.
I know, I just put you on the spot there.
Yeah. So I know I got asked one time, and it was kind of like, do you ever just know you're gonna make it? And I say, not at all.
Right.
And that is why there is so much pressure on whether I make it or not. And so I kind of use stress as I'm heading in the right direction. Because if you look at the guy next to you, or girl, they are going to parties on the weekend. They're not focused on all of this stuff. And so I guess it's kind of hard to describe in detail how I use it as a guideline.
Yeah.
But
it's kind of just like that film or like back layer in your mind that's always pushing you and says, you know what, nothing, it's not guaranteed that you're going to succeed here, or here. So make sure you excel in every aspect so that at least one of them you will be proficient in and you'll be successful in that field. Absolutely. And that's kind of how I view it. And so it's kind of the same thing. So say my dad owns a business. We'll say hypothetically my dad owns a business, and I know I can work for him until 30, 40, and then I take over the business.
Right.
Am I going to be pushing myself in other aspects of my life financially?
Not at all.
Yeah, probably not. Simply because I know I have this other avenue coming. I don't have to work my butt off to create something of my own. And I'm not trying to bash on anybody that's in that position. That's an awesome position to be in.
Absolutely.
But that's where you don't have that stress that's pushing you. So it's just an example of how stress can help you, because there's no guarantee on where we are both going in our lives. But this is something we're passionate about, something we love, so the stress pushes us to do better.
We've brought it up a couple times now on the podcast, but burning your boats.
Yeah.
That's huge. That creates. I mean, do you think that that Cortez was not stressed after he gave himself the only option but to succeed?
Absolutely. But he used it properly to succeed.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you leave yourself no other option but to succeed, what are you going to do?
This actually, I could throw this down. You have to focus on your freedoms.
Yeah. Go into detail with that one.
So focus on your freedoms, not your limitations. When people are stressed, every negative thought comes into mind. You start focusing on what you're doing wrong. You start focusing on why you're behind, how you got behind, and instead you need to focus on, I mean, first of all, gratitude. Gratitude goes a long way.
Yeah.
I mean, we could do a whole episode on that, so we probably will. So I won't go too into depth, but you just need to focus. Like, hey, I'm here. I put myself here. Why do I want to be here?
Right.
Focus on all of that.
So I guess I have two questions for you.
Okay.
How many people in their lives do you think have a negative thought when it comes to stress?
Almost everybody.
Almost everybody.
There's not a lot of people that I think would have a positive connotation to the word stress.
Now, is stress necessary?
Absolutely.
So why are those not linear with each other?
Because people focus on like going back to the quote.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, if you put the right pressure, you can turn crap into diamonds.
Yep.
People focus on turning diamonds to dust.
Yeah.
100%, because they see people crumble all the time under stress.
Yeah.
And so it's just created this nasty idea of when you hear stress. And plus, I mean, the reason we started this podcast is because there's not a lot of positive thinkers out there.
Yeah.
And so it's generally accepted to life happens to you.
Yeah.
And so that's where stress kind of, it's.
And I think we as a human species, just with the way we think, we always think worst case scenario.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's actually like a survival instinct, but that's the problem is it's survival instinct, and now it's no longer about survival.
Yeah.
But it's like something that our brain thinks we still need in a sense.
But do you think, when we do think worst case scenario, that can kind of go hand in hand with the stress we gather? And so we can either A, expect things to go poorly, or B, prepare to not have things go poorly. And so that's just kind of how the stresses can go left or right.
Mm-hmm.
It's we are either going to expect something to fail, so we don't even try at it, or we prepare to not have it fail, so we excel in it.
And you can there's even like, when it's not necessarily one or the other, it's just having one outweigh the other.
Mm-hmm.
Because obviously you can't control failure, and so it's not a bad thing to go, okay, what if this fails?
Yeah.
That's honestly not a bad thing, but it's the whole point of which one are you focusing on?
Yeah.
Which one outweighs the other? Because usually it's the bad one.
Yeah, and that's, tying back into Brandon Granger, when we had him on, he brought up a point of walking that line, and this was with comfort zones, but we can definitely tie it in with stress.
Absolutely.
You're walking that line, and most people stand on that line,
Mm-hmm.
where it's comfortable, but they're not over it yet. So they're always walking that line, but as soon as something bad happens, you are over the line. So why not get as far away from that line as you can and walk that life of stress is a good thing, stress is going to push me the positive way, so that if there's a big instance where it kind of just shifts your mindset a tad, it's not going to push you over the line.
Absolutely.
So even in that situation of peril and huge stress, you're still going to try to have that positive outlook on it.
Absolutely. So this has kind of been answered here and there, but so would you say stress is prevalent in our lives?
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's very important. And like I said, it's a guidance tool. It helps you get that little extra push in the direction that you want to chase. And it's the whole thing of choose your heart when it comes to, I guess, just certain situations in your life. Either you got to choose the heart of the discipline, or you have to choose the heart of knowing you didn't accomplish it.
Absolutely. And again, I can't stress enough.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's just, I don't know, we definitely are both highly success-driven people.
Yeah.
And so you can't have success without stress.
Right.
Not a lot of people talk about the journey to success in detail and how many mornings you wake up either freaking out about how you're going to make it through the end of the day, or just there's so many little things that you don't
Yeah.
think about, but it's part of the journey for a reason.
And I think one of the most important things that I always have in my mind when going through a tough day or tough situations that kind of make you question if anything is worth it. It's taking that step back and realizing that, if I don't go through these hardships and I'm not going through the tough things I need to get through today, will I be the person I need to be at the end of the road? And that is what keeps me going. That is the one thing that I can think in my mind that'll trump any situation I'm in. It is, I need to get through this so I can become who I need to be at the end of the day.
Absolutely. So, do you want to get personal?
Yeah, let's go for it.
So, what kind of stresses are you facing currently?
Stress. So I have a lot of stress right now in my life. I am still, and it's funny, I'm 21 years old and I don't know what I want to be when I grow up, kind of thing is, I'm trying to find things that allow me to pursue my passion, which is, speaking to others, trying to influence others, such as the podcast. But as you guys probably know, we don't gain anything out of having the podcast other than the personal fulfillment and being able to talk to you guys. So this is something we put 20, 25 hours a week into with no return, in the bank account, which we don't care about right now.
Not at all.
That's not something we care about.
It's never been about the money.
Yes, but it comes down to that is how am I going to be able to continue this with my current lifestyle? And so it's really hard. I guess it's more so of a time management thing and finding something that allows me to pursue things I'm passionate about. Like I'm in real estate. And real estate has a lot of flexibility, but it doesn't have a lot of security. So it's a lot of what am I going to get paid next? Do I have to pick up another job? Things like that always have that stress and that underlying just you have to be perfect. Because I'm a really big self-critic. Caleb and I were just talking about this right before the episode. I am such a big critic on myself. I always believe I'm not doing enough, so on and so forth. And so that's one thing I'm trying to switch. And I feel like once I fix that mindset, I will be doing a lot better things, not with my life, but with myself, if that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure.
So what about you? What kind of stresses are you facing?
Oh, which one?
Yeah, right.
Obviously there's always financial stress, and I think people have this illusion that goes away with more money, but really it doesn't.
Yeah.
There's always some sort of financial
Yeah.
stress. So that gets pretty uptight. I mean, I'm a college kid, and as college kids know, there's not a lot of money to go around.
Yeah.
Definitely with the podcast. I mean, it's always just, a lot of people think this is just some sort of hobby, but I would love to turn this and plan to turn this into a job.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the life.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so there's a lot of little things, and again, like you were saying, I'm a pretty big critic of myself. I'm human. I definitely have times where I doubt, like, am I good enough to sit in front of a camera and tell people what I think they should do better? But it's like, to deal with it, you just gotta know, like, if this is your purpose,
Yeah,
it makes everything else worth it, 100%.
absolutely. And I guess that kind of reiterates, do you enjoy having the stress in your life? Not so much enjoy it, but do you appreciate the stress that you have in your life?
Absolutely. 100%.
Yeah.
Like, if we didn't have this stress, we wouldn't be pushing as far as we have.
Yeah.
Because we may not be big timers, but we have had some insane growth.
Yeah. No, we definitely have, and there was a lot of situations where we kind of sat down and said, all right, let's take this seriously. Let's go to the next level with the podcast. Let's really treat it as if it's going to treat us one day. And as soon as we did, we've seen so much growth.
I mean, it already is treating us. Some of the people that we've had phone calls with,
Yeah.
some of the guests that are going to be coming on, it's surreal.
Yeah, it is really incredible. And if that's all we gain out of this, then I am happy.
Absolutely. And I really want to let you guys know, we're going through it too.
Yeah.
Like,
And that's reverting back to our episode, happy doesn't mean always happy. We have our struggles, we have our times in life where it's like, man, life is dark right now. But we don't let it eat us up, we don't let it beat us down, because then, like we said, there's the good stress that allows us to change that perspective and say, okay, well then let's make it better. How can we make this better? Where can we put more effort into in our lives and just be happier?
And that's why it's good to have that stress, because it means you're striving for something greater than yourself. 100%. And that's why we're co-hosts.
Yeah.
I mean, if it was anyone else, it would not have come this far or go as far as it's going to.
Mm-hmm. Because we both understand that we're not always going to be all, sunshine and rainbows, and that's not what life is about. And we understand that we have our hardships, and we understand that we can remind each other that there's still hope. There's still, a life to live. We both have our own lives that we are going to do incredible things with, and we just have to kind of step back and remind each other that sometimes. And it's just an awesome pair that I don't think would go well with anyone else or as well.
That is 100%. And another thing, again, it's also for you guys. It's important. I know a lot of people that I've talked to that I'm like, you are way too hard on yourself, and that's kind of hypocritical.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, you need to hear that once in a while. You guys, you're out here grinding, and it's easy to get lost in, I don't see where this is going. But if you just keep plugging away, it will happen. It's not if, it's when.
Right.
And I just think that's so important.
Yeah. Stop riding the if train, start riding the win train. You know what I'm saying?
It's a nice train to be on.
Yes, it is. Do you have anything else you want to add today?
Stay tuned. We have some absolutely amazing guests, and I can't wait to have them on.
Yeah.
So actually a couple things real quick.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Sorry about the whole rant thing. That was super fun, but we thought it was going to be able to be posted as an episode. We didn't realize the live stream would post as a video.
Yeah, so
it's not the episode 24 we were planning on, but I think this was good. This was a much needed episode.
Yeah, I feel like everybody needs to hear it. I feel like it's very prevalent. Sometimes you just have that energy feeling, where it's like, oh, everyone's just stressed.
And it builds. It
Yeah.
builds if you don't deal with it.
Yeah, so we're in a snowball right now. We're breaking that snowball and getting you guys moving to the next step in your life.
Absolutely. It's Monday. It's a new day. You got a great week ahead of you.
Yeah.
We're on all platforms today, basically.
Yeah.
That's fun. That's huge.
Yeah, so we'll be on, the big ones like Spotify. We're going to be on iTunes, Amazon, all that good stuff. So you guys will be able to find us on there. It's going to be easier. I mean, obviously, it's going to be way better than YouTube. No hate against YouTube, but it's just not meant for podcasts.
And ironically, YouTube does get us first because there's a whole process that has to go through in order to get on to the other platforms. But yeah, guys, we're excited to have you on this journey.
Yes.
Big shout out to just everybody. We got a vlog coming.
Yep, we got a vlog coming up. It's gonna be a living or giving his living part 2. So that one's gonna be fun.
Mm-hmm.
That was a really good one. But all right, guys, I guess we're gonna wrap it up there. Thank you so much for watching. Have a happy Monday, and we will see you guys later.
Happy Monday.
Peace. That was a good one.
See what we got.
Let's get
20 minutes.
Really?
Yeah, this felt longer.
That felt really.